Hey guys, how's it going? Dave here, coming to you from rainy and cold and uncomfortable Colorado Springs. It's my day off, and since the weather is kind of being weird the way it is, I'm not really going to go out and do too much, so I thought I would just kind of hang out at home and make some chili today. Today I'm just a man on a quest to perfect his chili recipe. So anyway, I thought I'd go over you some of the ingredients and some of the process of how I make my chili, and all right, here we go. Alright, so nothing too crazy here. First we got some red onions here. And by the way, I got most of this stuff just at Safeway. You can find most of this stuff at your local Walmart, King Supers, what have you. So I got 6 ounces of the freshly prepared red onions. They're already diced up. I'm probably going to dice them up a little more. Next, I got some diced green chilies. Last time I was going to make my chili, I meant to get these guys, the jalapenos, but the cans obviously look so similar here. It was an easy mix-up to make. So I ended up using the green chilies last time, and I actually liked them in there, so I'm just going to use 1 can. Just going to be a little more flavor at this point. I got 2 of the cans of the diced jalapenos. And I'm showing you now the first of 3 different ingredients that have habaneros in them. I got my Rotel with diced tomatoes and habaneros. I'll use 2 of those. Onto the beans themselves, I got some kidney beans. I've got just pinto beans here. And I got, just to mix it up a little bit, I got some black beans here with jalapeno and lime flavoring in them. I do like this brand Cooners. They're all pretty affordable. Although, just to let you guys know, these are all very high in the sodium here. So I wouldn't recommend necessarily this particular mix. Although the great thing about this brand is that they do offer low sodium alternatives. It's just, you see a lot of these include the chili. They're kind of mixing with the beans already. So the low sodium options do not have those. They don't have the chili sauce. They're just the plain beans. And so the actual base of the chili itself, I do like Stag chili, this brand. The second product, I guess, that has the habaneros featured in it, I do like the flavor. Do like the spice, so I got 3 of those. And of course, I'm making a monster batch of chili here. So that's why you see quite a bit. It's not just for me, although I probably will eat most of it. So, next, I went ahead and got some ground beef here. A good 93 to 7% lean to fat ratio. I got some habanero peppers here. Of course, obviously the last of the habanero. At Safeway, they're about $5.99 a pound. I got about 6 or 7 peppers here. I only spent about $1 on all these. That's not too bad. And they actually go a very long way. You're not going to have to get very many. And what I usually like to get for my peppers, I got the stoplight peppers here. I usually like to, at Safeway anyway, they kind of prepare them in a little case like this. They're already chopped up, mixed up together. That wasn't the case today. I wasn't able to find any, so I just went ahead and got 1 of each. I spent about $5 on these at Safeway. So I'll dice those up and I'll kind of add them in there. So, Twix, I just like Twix, so there's no real reason for me to, yeah, anyway, they're just good. I like them. Get a little snack in the meantime. So, a couple things that I like to use when I'm cooking. Obviously, you don't have to, whatever your comfort level is. I do an apron, just to kind of keep myself clean. It's chilly, it's gonna get messy, it's gonna happen, so. It's my day off, I really don't care how dirty I get anyway, but, why not? Also, I'm going to be cutting up a lot of those veggies. I'll be dicing them up pretty small, the habanero peppers. The onions I'll dice up more, and the bell peppers. So, whenever using any knives, obviously it goes without saying, be careful, practice caution. I actually have a cutting glove here. I was fortunate enough to be given one by my general manager when I worked at Old Chicago as a line cook. Last time I made chili, I was stupid, and I didn't think to look for it, and I sliced the hell out of my finger cutting those tiny habanero peppers, so... most people probably just don't have like a cutting glove in general. If you have one, use it. Don't be stupid like I was. Otherwise, just be careful. They're tiny peppers. If you use a big blade like I'm going to, just pay attention. Don't be stupid. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the onions here. Notice the cutting glove. I'm just going to go ahead and dump out all 6 ounces. Yeah. All right. Behold the power of movie magic. It is all diced up. I like to dice these up pretty fine if I can. These are pretty tiny bits. So I do like to chop them up as finely as possible. This took me about 2 minutes to do, so nothing too crazy here. What I am actually going to do now, though, no real reason for me to do this, just something I thought I'd try out. I'm actually going to split up half of these. Oh, sorry. Camera wasn't even showing that. I'm just going to split these up in half. I'm going to separate them, and I will show you why later. All right, next I'm going to dice up my bell peppers here. I'm obviously not like a real professional chef or anything, so there's obviously no, I don't really know the proper way to do this, but this is the way that I like to, and I'll show you that. First, I like to stand the pepper up, get this guy centered there, and make a cut clean down the middle. Now you can see that I kind of gutted them out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take each half and make some vertical cuts there. And now that I've got these into little smaller vertical strips here, I'm going to go ahead and dice them up just like I did at the onions. I'm going to go ahead and save half of them just like I did with the onions. On to the habanero peppers here. As you can see, they're kind of small in comparison to even my hand. Of course, I'm wearing my cutting glove, because like I said last time, these are actually what I was cutting when I sliced my finger open. So they're tiny peppers. Just be careful. You're using a bigger kitchen knife or whatever you're using. Just be careful. Don't be an idiot. So obviously I'm not going to show you me cutting them because I'm holding my phone in one hand, and that's, you can't do that. So I'll just tell you, just going to hold it by the stem here. And I'm going to work my way making tiny cuts from the end all the way up to the stem. I'll have the little strips, and then I'll dice those into fine little pieces of habanero pepper. And just like the other peppers I've got here, I will be doing half and half. So half of these guys are going to be going into that bigger bowl, and I'll keep the other half for a little later on. Okay, habanero peppers are all diced up. You can see kind of the finer slices we have here, pretty thin. Obviously, make slow, deliberate cuts. You want to get them thin. And again, you just want to be very careful with these. Like the other peppers, I'm going to hang on to the seeds. I might not keep so many of the bell peppers, but I am going to keep as many of these seeds as possible, because these definitely do bring out the spice, bring out the heat, bring out the flavor, and that's really what I'm going for here. I want this to be especially spicy. So I'm just going to dice these up even further, chop them up into tiny little bits, and I'll add them to the rest of our veggies. Check it out, guys. These are all the peppers mixed up thus far, and as I said, I did split them in half. So in here we've got the red, yellow, orange peppers, we've got the habanero peppers, and the red onions all diced up very finely. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one, and I'm not going to be using any cooking oil because it's kind of hard to tell, but there's quite a bit of the natural juices just from the veggies already kind of in there, so that's going to be enough. I am actually going to go ahead and bring them on over here. I am going to go ahead and cook these just a little bit first. All right. I've been letting these cook on about medium-high heat for about the last 10 minutes or so. Got some help here from my friend Captain America. I'm just about done with these, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and get these back into my bowl. I'll keep them off to the side, and then I will start my meat. Start cooking the... that sounded funny. I'm going to start cooking the ground beef next. Next, I'm going to be cooking my ground beef, the 93 lean to 7% fat mix there. I'm going to use one of the cans of Rotel. I'm going to use one of the cans of jalapenos. And since I already got it here, I'll use the remaining can of green chilies I have, just for a little flavor, of course. And with that, I will be adding the other half of my veggies to cook in with the meat, kind of to give it some more flavor there. Still got some particles from the other veggies in it. That is perfectly fine because I'll be adding the other veggies in there anyway. I'm going to go ahead and start with the, let's see, green chilies. Sorry, jalapenos. Okay. So again, I'm not going to be using any oil or anything. The natural juices that come from the jalapenos themselves. And the green peppers, sorry, the green chilies. And the Rotel. It's going to provide plenty of liquid. So I don't really need any oil. I'm just going to be using the natural juices that come from this guy. There's no real particular order in which these need to go in here. I'm just going to toss the meat in there next. You know, it's all going to be mixed together anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But I'm going to go ahead and put these on the bottom, get that liquid on the bottom of the pan there. I'll toss in the ground beef, I'll mix that up a little bit, and then I will get those other peppers in there as well. I've got the ground beef here mixed with the Rotel, green chilies, and the jalapeno peppers. I'm going to be adding these other veggies in here. If it looks like a lot, that is because it is a it is a lot. It's quite a bit. The pack of the ground beef that I picked up at the store was approximately 3 pounds, which I never really buy that much. But the way they packaged it over there, it just turned out to be a better deal to pick up the 3 pounds. I spent an extra $1 basically to get another pound of this leaner ground beef here. So, okay. Here are a couple of the seasonings I'll probably be using. I haven't really figured out a ratio. I just kind of like using them. So we got some garlic powder, chili powder, some Tony Chachere's here, the spicy one, as recommended to my roommate Stephanie. Got some powdered onion, garlic salt, and you can't really see too much in here, but we got some pepper that I'll be grinding out of there. Like I said, this is just going to be according to taste. I don't have any real specific measurements, so we'll just kind of pick and choose and see how it tastes. Got these seasonings mixed in here. Again, for any of you who might want a lower sodium, you know, take a look at your ingredients there. This chili I'm making is going to be probably pretty high in the sodium, so just a fair warning, but I'm sure there's other alternatives out there. I'm using the garlic salt as opposed to just regular salt, but there's still, like I said, I mean, just a ton of sodium in here anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put this on high. I'm going to let it cook. Hopefully it'll cook a little quicker. The veggies in here will absorb some of the flavor. And yeah. Obviously, whenever you're cooking with, whenever you're handling any meat, you want to be careful with that. Make sure you wash your hands, you know, after you're done handling it.
That's what she said.
Michael, please.
Okay, guys, going to go ahead and let this cook for a minute, and while we're waiting on that, figure I'll go ahead and get the actual chili started here. So, like I said, it's going to be a ton of chili here, not to feed a small army, so that's why there's so many cans of chili and beans and everything else here. So no particular order. I'm going to go ahead and just start getting these all dumped in here. Sure. All right. Do a chili. We'll do a kidney bean. I like to mix it up with the beans, get different kinds. You know, it's all protein. Like I said, the lower sodium alternatives are around if you want to go that route. They don't taste as good, but you know, health comes first. More chili there. Got my pinto beans. I got 2 of these actually in the chili sauce. They're meant to be spicy already. So it's kind of what I'm going for here. Mix those back in there. There we go. All right. 1 more can of chili. Because I'm a guy and I like chili. I need a lot. We'll do that second can of the jalapenos with all the juices there. Very important part. All the seeds you see in there. And those veggies we sauteed a little earlier. I'm going to dump them all in here now. So while that meat is cooking, we're going to let this heat up slowly. I'll be mixing it up. I got a slotted spoon over here. Just for mixing, you know, no reason not to. And we'll let that heat up a bit. And then once they're both ready, we'll just add them together. Pretty simple stuff. All right, so we're letting this cook. One more thing here. Not super important, but something I like to do. I like to add a little bit of whiskey. Just for a little bit of flavor. All right, nothing too crazy there. All right, so I got that cooking. That is the bean mixture so far with the jalapenos and the other veggies. I'm going to put that on low heat because I don't want this guy to burn or anything. All right, and now we wait. I went ahead and switched the meat and the beans over. I brought the beans over onto the larger burner so it can heat a little faster. With the meat, obviously, you want to be sure it's cooked all the way through. You can tell that with the color. Make sure it's got a nice brown color to it, no pink. Everything you see in there, it's just the veggies. It's cooking in its own juice. It's going to taste really great. I could already I've tested a couple little bites here. It's pretty good. The seasonings are going really well together. So next, I'm just going to go ahead and add the cooked meat to the beans, and then I will just let that simmer together. So I went ahead and added the beef with the chili, like the beans and all that good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and let that simmer for a little bit, and we're going to try some. I got the roommate trying some of the chili now, Miss Stephanie here.
Oh, warmed you right up.
She was not paid for that wonderful endorsement, but I'm paying her in chili, so all right. All right, thank you. All right, there you have it. Made the chili. Gonna smother it on some Fritos with some cheese now, because, you know, I'm a guy. I do that. But yeah, all right, hope you enjoyed.